I didn't become a Christian until it was my senior year in high school. It was probably early high school that I met an amazing guy, and I started seeing through him, and I started seeing through his family that I was missing something. So I'd wake up on Sundays and I'd catch the bus and go to Sunday school and church. As our relationship started growing, I started going to church with him and his family. By this time, Dave and I had been dating for about 3 years. March 3rd, March 2nd is a day that completely turned our world upside down. It was a normal day, teenage girl, sleep in, do the chores, get ready for a date. Dave came to pick me up, and it was normal. We had a great time, and little did we know that by the end of that evening, our worlds would just be turned over. Like normal kids, we didn't want to go home before curfew, so we're out driving around, and we had some car trouble. We got out of the car, and he at first he told me, he says, why don't you stay here? And I was like, I don't want to stay here on a dark road by myself for who knows how long. So I talked him into letting me go with him. It's a small town. Who would have thought anything could happen? It was work. I thought worst case scenario, we would just walk home. The houses that we knew, we'd stop and see if we could just get some help. A car passed us and didn't think too much about it. The car just went a little bit behind us and turned around and came back and passed us again and turned around, and we're like, We were hopeful that it was somebody we knew, and they were just making sure that they also knew us. 2 guys pulled up beside us and said, can we give you a ride? Or no, we're okay. These men got out of the car, proceeded to start beating up on Dave. He had his hand in his pocket, the guy did, and we thought that he had a gun. There was 2 men in the car. One of them told me after I let go of Dave that I should run. Well, at first I asked him, I said, what? He said, you need to run. So I did, I took off running. Then I kind of felt guilty. It's like, I just left Dave. So I turned back and I don't see him anywhere. I'm like, okay, I just need to take off and I need to run. I ran again, thinking I'd look back one more time to see if I could find Dave, and he wasn't there. But what I did see is about 2 steps behind me, the guy that was with Dave was reaching out and grabbing me. The car pulled up and they threw me in the back. I was kidnapped and I was raped by just one of the 2 guys. I asked him where the guy was, and he said, he's in the trunk. We're gonna deal with him after we take care of you. The whole process of me with the guys was really only about a half hour. It's one of the areas that I know God was with me. In hindsight, this didn't have to last long. They threw me out of the car in Missouri City when they became very confused. They didn't understand why they were confused. But they said, we're getting close, we've got to get rid of her. So I ran, crawled, whatever, to get to one house that I knew in this town. She was afraid to let me in because by now it's the wee hours of the morning. But she was somebody that my mom had worked with, and I knew I could trust, because at this time I didn't feel like I could trust anybody. She let me in, said that we needed to call the police, and we needed to call my mom because she was friends with my mom. And it was then that I found out that Dave was okay, that he had hopped the ditch, ran through the woods, and when he came out and around, all he saw was the taillights leaving. Through this whole process, I picked up lots of baggage. I picked up fear, trust, guilt, lots of anger. Being a new Christian, I didn't really know what I needed to do to get through this. God did tell me that, he says, you have to forgive them. If I can forgive them, who are you not to? And that was a big releasing point for me. The hurt physically, it healed. I mean, yeah, I had bruises and stuff from them beating me up. Emotionally, the hurt was easier to release after the forgiveness. I thought I dealt with it quicker than what I really did. Sometimes you have to dig so deep that it hurts to that point and to give it all over to God. I do know joy today. And in my sharing my story, it has been my desire that I know and I see so many broken people that I was broken, and I just want them to know that there's hope. They don't have to keep holding on to this. Just turn it over, every little piece, to God, and He can give you joy and peace.